I've never been freaked out by a calendar, even a little. Just getting a rise out of me with a calendar is a feat on its own. But the Mayans are the MVPs of making calendars, man. You have to hand it to a culture that can make a calendar so intense that it is still freaking people out centuries later. And they didn't stop at just freaking people out. No, see, these dudes, they wrote a whole fan fiction for their calendar. It's called the Popol Vuh, and it is basically just a super complicated code version of the calendar itself. See, really translated by some Mayan dudes around the time that the Spanish were killing everybody. And now, it is time to take that sacred and clandestine work of those brave souls and mock the ever loving shit out of it. So there is this one Mayan dude, right? He has like 50 goddamn names like Huracan and Gugumat and Heart of Sky. And I'm not even really sure if he's even one Mayan dude or like a collection of Mayan dudes because they keep acting like he's two people, but the two people never do anything independently, so they're basically just one person or some kind of hive mind. Anyway, we're gonna call this thing Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is bored because all there is anywhere is just a whole bunch of water and some sky. And it's not even an interesting sky because there's no light, so Quetzalcoatl is like, okay, boom. And then there's some light. And then he goes, boom, again, and there is some land. But this is still pretty lame because what is the point of being able to do this kind of shit if there is no one around to get freaked out by how cool it is? Now, this may sound pretty familiar so far, but here's where it gets crazy. Quetzalcoatl's master plan for getting worshippers is to invent jaguars. And then he's like, whoa, jaguars, look, I just fucking made you. Pretty neat, huh? And the jaguars are all, roar, we are jaguars. We can't talk or be impressed. So Quetzalcoatl's like, ah, fuck you guys. I'm gonna make some way more awesome creatures, and they are gonna worship me, and you are gonna be their slaves. So he gets some dirt and he makes dirt people, but the dirt people really suck. Because first of all, they're made out of dirt. And third of all, no wait, second of all, they only speak gibberish, and third of all, they dissolve in water. So Quetzalcoatl figures that even if they could worship him, he would get pretty embarrassed, so he kills all of them by dumping water on them, and then he calls these two other dudes, Ex Nuking and Ex Peacock, who have names that sound like prescription drugs designed to treat nasal congestion and erectile dysfunction, respectively. And he's like, hey, is it a good idea for me to make people out of wood? And they say, yeah, go for it. So it makes people out of wood, like a whole bunch of wooden robots, basically. And they can speak and walk around, and they don't dissolve in water, but they are tremendous assholes. One might even say they have a stick up their asses. Get it? Get it? Ah, screw you guys. Anyway, they totally forget to worship Quetzalcoatl even a little bit, and he's getting pretty pissed at this point because he has seriously made everything that exists, and no one is giving him any credit. So he kind of freaks out a little and causes fire to rain down from the sky and burns everything to cinders, and then makes all the wood people's cookware come alive and kill him, and then all the animals move into their houses and eat them, even though they are made of wood and totally not tasty. And meanwhile, Quetzalcoatl makes a bunch of actually delicious people out of tortillas. And those people are supposedly us. And as soon as Quetzalcoatl gets bored, he's gonna make us into burritos and then feed us to jaguars or whatever. And this story is apparently plausible enough to freak out the entire goddamn world all the way throughout 2012. But anyway, everyone lives happily ever after, except the wood people who get chased in the woods and turn into monkeys. So the moral of the story is never set fire to a monkey because it is made out of wood and you will start a forest fire. So there are these two dudes, Hunapu and Zuku Hunapu. They are twins. or at least brothers. Anyway, they piss off the gods of the underworld with their constant ball playing. Yes, that is right. They play sports so hard that it upsets Mayan Satan. Anyway, the gods summon them down to the underworld, which is called Xibalba, because no Mayan story is complete without about 6,000 proper nouns beginning with the letter X. And the gods are like, hey guys, we heard you like ball playing. Get it? We heard. Because you are so loud. And the twins are like, what of it? And the gods are like, well, if you like playing ball games so much, how about you play ball with us for your lives? And then the twins are like, this sounds like the ultimate rush. Now, this is a Greek myth. The twins would use some kind of math skill or insane trickery to beat the gods. But this is a Mayan myth. The dudes get killed before the game even starts for smoking a cigar the wrong way. And then they get decapitated and buried under the ball cart, except for Hun's head, which they put that on a calabash tree for some reason. This turns out to be a bad idea because some chick named X Squick walks by and what is this? What is this? And Hun spits in her hand, and he is such a true man that this causes her to get pregnant and she gives birth to twins. Fellas, think you're hot shit just because your penis is 1.5 inch longer than the national average? Try impregnating a random chick in her hand with your saliva from a tree on which someone has deposited your severed head. Wait, I went and read it again. It wasn't even his head, it was just his skull. Skulls don't even make saliva. So I guess when he still had skin and stuff, he just collected a big glob of spit in there and he held it, waiting. I want that shit on one of those posters that says, hang in there. Okay, time out. I've got a little picture here that further illustrates my point better, and I would show it, but my webcam sucks. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, X Quick gives birth to twins. They are called Hanapu and X Balanque. X Balanque. And these two guys are alive for like 5 minutes before they discover their dad's ball playing gear and start playing ball so goddamn hard that they piss off the underworld again and they get summoned down there and the gods are like, hey, you may have noticed that severed head hanging from that tree by your house. That was the last dude that kept us up with his ball playing. That was also your dad, FYI. Why the hell do you guys even like playing ball this much? Okay, look, do you want to play ball for the rest of your lives? And the twins are like, the ultimate rush! So they play ball and see if this is a Roman myth or maybe like a Norse myth. These guys would have totally won and avenged their fathers, but like I said, Mayans are assholes. So the gods win again, and they kill the twins and bury them under the ball court. But there's a twist! A twist, I say. Because it turns out that the twins are immortal somehow. So they dig themselves up and sneak away, and they come up with a crafty plan, which is to come directly back to the underworld dressed as traveling performers. And the gods are like, sweet! Because it is boring in Xibalba with the constant noise of ball playing. Without the constant noise of ball playing is what I meant to say. So Huanapu and Ex Balanque, I don't even know at this point. They put on a fantastic show full of amazing feats. Maybe they even do an astonishing magic trick where they make their names easier to fucking type. But anyway, for the finale, one of them cuts off the other's head and then puts it back on without any problems. So all the gods are like, awesome! Do me! And the twins are like, sure, okay. And just go and chop off the gods' heads without any resistance whatsoever, because that is how slick they are. And then they go dig up their dads and resurrect them, and none of them ever forget how lucky they are to be able to use their dicks to get women pregnant. So the moral of the story is to ball so hard motherfuckers want to murder you and bury you under the ball court. No, this is not the title of a hardcore Mayan gangbang porno. This is an honest to goodness list from the Popova that just happens to have 400 boys in it. Let's do this. So Zapagna is the son of this guy named Seven Macaw, who is basically a rogue sun god who hangs out on Earth and causes problems. Zapagna is responsible for making all the mountains, and he has a bro named Earthquake who is responsible for puppies? Wait, no, it's earthquakes. Sorry, I read that wrong. Look, none of that is really that important, except to establish that Zapagna is the sort of dude who causes mountains. So Zapagna is taking a bath in the river one day, and these 400 boys waltz by carrying a big tree they just chopped down to make their house with. They have to chop down a big tree, you see, because there are 400 of them. They're having some trouble, though, because I guess their eyes were bigger than their biceps. And Zapagna sees them, and he's like, dudes, let me help you with that. And then he just picks up the tree all by himself and takes it to the boys' crib in progress and doesn't even ask for a tip or anything. Zapagna's a pretty nice dude. He is the only one. Because then what happens is the 400 boys have a meeting and they're all like, guys, Zapagna just did us a major solid. How about we reward him for his altruism? Oh, how about with murder? Seriously, we cannot have any really strong dudes running around being stronger than us. We have an inferiority complex, or rather, we have 400 inferiority complexes. So they come up with this really brilliant plan, which is that they call Zapagna up and they're all like, hey man, thanks for all your help with that big bug, but we have another problem now. We need a really big hole for some reason. We need you to come dig us a really big hole and then stay in it while we bury you alive. Okay? And Zapagna's like, anything I can do to help. But Zapagna is too crafty for their clever ploy. I mean, he did the hole, sure, but he also did this special side hole to hide in, when the 400 boys try to bury him. Actually, they don't even try to bury him. They just try to drop a big ass log down the hole and crush him, which is dumb because he just lifted one of those for them. And that is why they wanted to kill him in the first place. But either way, it doesn't matter because the Zapagna is safe in his side hole. So the boys were all up on the surface celebrating their dumb plan, but then they're like, wait! If Zapagna was really dead, we would have heard his death cry just now. And Zapagna's like, oh, uh, ow, I'm dead now. And the boys are like, perfect, but wait! If Zapagna is really dead, then a bunch of ants will probably show up the day after tomorrow to eat his tasty corpse. Let's wait for that to happen so we can make sure he's really dead. So Zapagna just chops up all his hair and bites off his fingernails, and when the ants show up, he just gives all his hair and fingernails to the ants, and they all scamper all over the place carrying his body stuff because I guess ants think hair is delicious. Reason reason number a million to not be an ant. Anyway, then the boys are totally convinced. So obviously, they all go get trashed to celebrate their totally bogus victory. And meanwhile, Zapagna tunnels out of his hole, and then he crushes all 400 boys inside the house he helped them with build. So the moral of the story is, I don't care what your mom says. Biting your fingernails may just save your life. And that, my dear friends, concludes the Mayan version of Zeus Grants Stupid Wishes, a no bullshit guide to world mythology. Join me next time as I possibly alienate a good chunk of my fan base while I read the Judeo-Christian version of this book. Whatever. So, here's a religion you may have heard of. In fact, I'm willing to bet that 9 out of 10 of you, when you hear the word religion, think of this one first. But did you know that this popular high school jock of religions is just as extremely messed up as all the other ones? Yeah, no fooling. And it's even crazier because what masquerades as a single holy book is actually more like a short story collection by like a million crazy desert dudes. I'm mainly going to focus on the Old Testament in this section because the Old Testament God gets up to some seriously brutal shit. But the New Testament, the one with Jesus in it and stuff, is messed up in a whole other way. Okay, enough talk. Let the fiascos begin. Okay, so God, right? No, I didn't leave out any letters up there. That is not a typo. No, see, in this pantheon, there is only one God. I know, really lame. But anyway, this God guy is facing a problem that you should be pretty familiar with at this point. The problem is that there is water and nothing else. Also, it's super dark. So, bam, he invents light, day one, and then he misses the dark part, so he invents night two, and then he's like, oh, looks like it's nighttime. Better go to sleep. Day two. God basically just makes a big divider right in the middle of the water, and all the water below the line is earth, and all the water above the line is heaven. This is why angels are traditionally depicted wearing scuba gear. Day three is when God finally gets around to inventing dry land. Seriously? It took Raw all of 30 seconds to invent dry land and himself. Is this just not something that occurred to God until he had 2 nights to sleep on it? Oh, and he makes plants too. On day four, God invents the sun and the moon and the stars, which begs the question, where was the light coming from before? And then he's like, oh shit, the moon, better go to sleep. This dude needs an awful lot of sleep for an omnipotent dude, which may explain why wars happen. So on day five, God invents animals, especially whales. The Bible is very specific on this point. By day six, God is pretty pleased. He's like, wow, this is awesome. How could I ruin it? So he invents mankind and also cows because he forgot about cows. Then he gets real hammered to celebrate and he passes out on Saturday and doesn't wake up until Monday. In fact, he sleeps through Sunday so hard that no one is allowed to do work on Sunday ever again. That is a true power nap. So when he finally wakes up, he makes this garden called the Garden of Eden, and he puts the guy he made in there, and the man, whose name is Adam, is like, God, I'm bored. And God is like, ooh, I know a great game we could play. It's called Name All the Animals. Ready? Go! So Adam falls for this transparent ruse to get him to do God's work for him. And he names all the animals, but then he gets done doing that, and he's like, still bored, God. And God's like, okay, I got this. And bam, knocks him out and steals one of his ribs. That is some straight up Tijuana shit, is what that is. So Adam wakes up in a bathtub full of ice, like, what happened? And God is like, look, dude, I made you a chick. She's made of your ribs, so she might be kind of dumb. I tried just making one out of clay like how I made you, but she was harboring all of these problematic delusions of equality, so I had to find a workaround. Anyway, she's totally hot, so don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, I should warn you guys, you could totally eat from any tree in the garden, except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That one over there. The totally unguarded one with the delicious looking apples, and Adam and Eve are like, okay, whatever, dude. Eve is the name of the chick God made, by the way. And they go off somewhere to bone. But there is a serpent in this garden. I think he's supposed to be Satan, but really, I think he's a serpent who happens to be a big jerk. The serpent runs up on Eve and she is off on her own, and he's like, hey girl, try one of these apples. And Eve is like, you mean the apples of knowledge? The ones that God explicitly forbade us from eating? No way. And the serpent was like, no, come on. And he was like, okay. So she eats the apple and it is delicious. And so she takes the rest of it to Adam and I'm like, here, eat this. And Adam is like, what? No. God said if we ate that, then we would die or something. And he was like, totally still alive over here. And Adam is like, okay, fair point. So he eats the apple and suddenly both of them realize how incredibly naked they are. This is what the tree does. It lets you know you're naked. The mythical tree of knowledge of good and evil could have easily been replaced by a $5 mirror from a Colombian brothel. So they make themselves some clothes because they're embarrassed, and then God wakes up from one of his mega naps, and he's like, hey, who the fuck told you were naked? See, this was his big plan. His big plan was just to look at naked people all day. Now the plan is ruined, so he responds in the rational way, which is to put curses on everyone and then kick them out of his garden. He curses a serpent to have to crawl on his belly forever, apparently forgetting that this is what serpents do all the time. And he curses Eve to undergo tremendous pain during childbirth because apparently he is able to imagine some crazy parallel universe when pushing something the size of a screaming football out of your vag is somehow not incredibly painful. And then he curses Adam to toil endlessly, and Adam is like, come on. couldn't you just curse me to, like, have testicles or something? But by then he's already kicked out of Eden, and there's a big flaming sword guarding the door, and there's nothing left to do but have a bunch of kids and try to forget the whole fiasco. So the moral of the story is to never be naked, because God is a creepy pervert who invented you so he can look at your junk. So Adam and Eve know each other. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. Adam and Eve totally have sex with each other. It's just that the Bible is cagey about shit like that. So instead of writing Adam boned Eve in a moist, raunchy sex fiasco, the Bible guys would put Adam knew Eve in a moist, raunchy sex fiasco. It's awesome once you know about it, and now you do. But so anyway, Adam and Eve bang the daylights out of each other, and they have two kids, Cain and Abel. And these dudes are farmers because what else are they gonna do? No one has built any of the cool stuff yet. So Abel becomes a sheep farmer and Cain becomes a vegetables farmer. Then harvest time comes. I'm guessing that harvest time for sheep is when they start to piss whenever they start to piss you off. And Abel makes an offering to the Lord, always in all caps by the way, of like the fattest sheep he owns. Dude, he could have totally eaten that. Meanwhile, Cain makes an offering of all his choicest vegetables, and God gets all of these things, and he's like, oh snap! Delicious lamb meat that I have no use for because I am immortal and omnipotent and stuff. Good job, Abel. What the fuck is this shit, Cain? Vegetables? If I wanted to eat vegetables, why do you think I invented meat, huh? You're not my dad, Cain. You don't know what's best for me. So Cain goes and hits up Abel later. He's like, yo, bro, God really dug your offering, huh? And Abel was like, yeah, well, it was pretty sweet. And Cain was like, yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, I actually dug something of yours as well. And Abel was like, yeah, what is it? And then Cain is like, yo, great, motherfucker. Then he stabs him and puts him in the ground, thus single-handedly inventing murder. Yeah, before this, murder didn't even exist. Cain is seriously like the Thomas Edison of stabbing people. So pretty soon, God comes poking around, like, hey, Abel, me and the Holy Ghost are having a barbecue. Got any more of that delicious lamb meat? And then he sees Cain and he's like, oh, hey, dipshit. No, I don't want any vegetables. There's not going to be a vegan option at this barbecue. Hey, have you seen your brother anywhere? And Cain is like, what? No. What am I, my brother's babysitter or some shit? Find him yourself. And God is like, oh, hold on. I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Oh, hi, Abel's blood. What's that? Cain murdered you and hid you underground, foolishly believing that 6 feet of dirt would obscure you from the omniscient creator? You don't say. Cain, you are so getting punished. So he curses Cain so that the earth will refuse to get farmed by him and he has to roam forever and everyone will hate him. And Cain is like, but God, now everybody I meet is just going to kill me. And God's like, good point. How about I make a law that says no one can kill you, and I put a mark on you to let everyone know that you are a dude not to kill. And Cain is like, yes. At this stage of the Bible, God is not very good at coming up with punishments. But don't worry, he gets way better. But yeah, then Cain goes off to live in the land of Nod, and everyone is either unhappy or dead or omnipotent. So the moral of the story is that God hates vegetarians. Seriously? Seriously? Okay, here we go. So one day, this guy named Abraham is out working in the fields, and God is like, Abraham, Abraham, hey! Abraham's like, chill out, I'm right here. What do you want? And God is like, you know your son? And Abraham is like, my only son? Yeah, you could say I know him. And God is like, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your son up to a mountain that I'm going to show you, and I want you to kill him and set him on fire for me. And Abraham's like, okay, well, I guess you know what you're doing. So Abraham goes and gets his son, and he's like, come on, son, let's go on a nice father-son trip to a mountain that God will show us. We're going to make a blood sacrifice. It will be a great bonding experience. So they start going up to the mountain along with some donkeys and some slaves, which God is apparently cool with. And Abraham makes his son carry the wood, and he carries the fire and the knife, and halfway there his son's like, Dad? And Abraham's like, what? And his son is like, Dad, where's the lamb we're going to sacrifice? And Abraham's like, well, God is gonna provide a lamb for us, son. He's remarkably calm about this whole thing. Perhaps for Abraham, one son is too many sons. So anyway, they get down to the mountain, and Abraham straps his son down, and his son doesn't say anything, presumably because the level of shitty parenting going on here has rendered him speechless. And Abraham raises up the knife, and God is like, whoa, whoa, Abraham. And Abraham's like, what? I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. And God's like, ha ha, psych. I was totally just kidding about the whole sacrificing your son thing. But dude, that was hardcore. Tell you what, man, I like a man with big balls. So how about I make it so that your children will outnumber the stars in the sky? And Abraham was like, what? That is too many kids. And then God is like, haha, no need to thank me, buddy. Your thoughtless attempted sacrifice of your own son is all the thanks I need. And then Abraham finds a ram, which he sacrifices to God instead of his son, and then I guess the two of them go home. Or actually, they go to a place called Beersheba, which is clearly the party city of ancient times. And I like to imagine that they partied so hard that afterward they had to go to Bathsheba just to wash the stank off. And things are pretty awkward between Abraham and his son from now on. But it's okay because Abraham has a ton more kids. So the moral of the story is that it's never a bad idea to try to set your kids on fire as long as the voices tell you so. So God makes a bunch of people. They fuck up and kill each other, but then they feel bad about it, so they have like crazy makeup sex. And the next 9,000 pages of the Bible, depending on how big you make the text, are about all the babies people made because the Bible predates condoms, and I think we should all remember this. So everyone has a bunch of kids, but it doesn't matter because apparently they all suck, and God decides he's had enough of this shit. He's just gonna kill everybody, kind of like that other god in the Mayan myth. See what I mean about how all this junk starts to run together after a while? And he totally rips off Quetzalcoatl even harder because his method of choice for killing everyone is a giant flood. P.S. Did you know that whenever H.P. Lovecraft uses the word antediluvian, which what he means is predating the biblical flood? Because, yeah, apparently H.P. Lovecraft knows exactly when this happened. But God just can't kill everyone because he put a lot of work into this whole humanity thing. So he picks the least sucky dude in the world whose name is Noah, and he's like, yo, Noah, everybody's gonna die except you. Congratulations. Hope you don't have any friends. Gonna need you to build a real big boat, buddy. But no friends allowed on this boat, just animals. 7 pairs of every kind of animal. Unless they are really filthy, in which case you can just get 1 pair. Because yeah, I spent a lot of time on those animals, but I forgot to make them smart enough to build boats, so that is your job now. So this sounds like a lot of work to Noah, but hey, it's better than dying. So he gets some lumber and he gets to work, and somehow he manages to pull it off in time, with all his neighbors showing up at his house and calling him an idiot all day. Well, joke's on them. They all die. But then joke's on Noah, because now he has to live on a boat full of nothing but animals and his wife. Nobody wins except for God, who is playing a game called Do Whatever the Hell I Want because I'm God. So anyway, the whole world stays flooded for 40 days, which is actually just Bible speak for an arbitrarily long time. But Noah is patient because, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Noah is 600 years old. Okay, now I'm super impressed. This 600-year-old dude managed to build a massive boat in just a couple months, and more impressively, he managed to live 600 years on Earth without committing any mortal sins. So anyway, the rain stops eventually, and Noah's family and all the animals are getting pretty antsy, no pun intended, because only some of them are actually ants. But anyway, Noah's solution is to send birds out to find land. First, he tries sending out a raven, but that's useless. The raven pretty much flies back and forth a lot. So Noah sends out a dove, and the dove fails to find land, so Noah keeps sending it out until on the third try it finally brings back an olive branch. indicating that it found a tree somewhere, and this somehow became an international symbol for peace, when what it should symbolize is, hooray, we are no longer covered in water! So yeah, after that, everything is pretty straightforward. They find some land, and Noah makes an altar, and God makes a rainbow, which is his way of saying, sorry dudes, that won't happen again, and he has kept that promise. So far. So the moral of the story is that if you are planning on being a terrible person your whole life, you can just keep a big boat in your garage and you'll be totally safe. So there's this king named Solomon. It doesn't really matter what he's king of. You know how it was in Bible times. Kings all over the place. But the thing about Solomon is that unlike most of the kings who are all over the place in Bible times, Solomon is incredibly wise. Observe. So, one of the things a king used to have to do was to sit in a room while people shouted their problems at him and then solve the problems using his king powers. So one day Solomon is doing this, and two ladies walk in with a dead baby, a live baby, and a serious doozy of a problem. One woman is like, hey Solomon, I gave birth to this healthy baby 5 days ago, but then my bitch of a roommate gave birth to a dead baby 2 days later, and she thought it would be a good idea to pull some Indiana Jones shit and switch my live baby for her dead one. Maybe get my baby back. And the other woman is like, nuh-uh, this is totally my baby. Your baby died because you are a terrible parent. So Solomon is like, this is a tough one. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I have swords. Hey, guards, cut the baby in half. Give a piece to each of these ladies. Problem solved. And the first lady is like, Jesus Christ, just give me the baby. What is wrong with you? And the second woman is like, dibs on the top half. And Solomon is like, aha! The baby must belong to the first lady because mothering instincts generally prevent people from agreeing to bisect their babies. And even if the first lady isn't the mother, the baby should still probably go to the woman who is not willing to cut it with swords. Seriously, lady? What were you even planning on doing with the top half of a baby? You've already got 100% of a dead baby, no questions asked. What are you making, a casserole? Case dismissed. So the moral of the story is that you should always do a background check on all your potential roommates. And that concludes the Judeo-Christian section of Zeus Grants Stupid Wishes. Um, Next time, okay, first of all, I'm just gonna say, not, I'm kind of not impressed with this section because I was kind of hoping that Solomon's David and Solomon's whoring would take center stage, but you can't get everything you want. Next time, join me as I sift through the Hindu section. Till next time, bitches, I'm Lissa and I will see y'all in hell. Bye!